it's Randy. So one of the biggest topics that a lot of people talk about in the autoimmune community would definitely have to be fatigue. And I feel like it is about time that I actually make a video and talk about it. So yeah, we all know about fatigue. And 9 times out of 10, when I tell someone, oh, I'm so tired, then their response is, oh, I'm tired too, I didn't get much sleep last night. And it's so hard for me to try and put into words that a fatigue tired is a way different feeling than not getting enough sleep at night type of tired. I personally like to describe fatigue as something that is so random. I can get 10 hours of sleep the night before, but that does not mean that fatigue will not slap me in the face the very next day. Fatigue gives you that feeling of not being able to move, and not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. And you seriously just know that no amount of caffeine is going to give you enough energy to just be awake and feel like a spring chicken the rest of the day. So right before I started chiropractic school, I told my rheumatologist about how much fatigue I was experiencing. And I was experiencing so much fatigue for someone who was not even in school. So of course I was freaked out that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be taking 22 and a half credit hours starting in January. I cannot be this tired. So I told my rheumatologist at my follow-up appointment that, oh my goodness, I'm so tired, I don't know what to do. I understand that fatigue is not like a one-size-fit-all type thing, and there isn't just a magical button that'll just fix fatigue. But I just asked her, is there anything that I can do? Because I need to stay awake during class. So she basically told me that there is a baseline fatigue level that everyone with autoimmune illnesses typically experience. But there are some levels that if they're too high, then it may be a reflection of having a vitamin D deficiency. So she ran the blood test and it turns out I actually did have a vitamin D deficiency. So afterwards she put me on a vitamin D replacement therapy pills or something. I don't know the specific wording of it, but I was taking 1 tablet of vitamin D once a week for 12 weeks, and honestly it has helped a lot. My vitamin D levels were just recently checked and they are above, well, they're in the normal range, so to say. And I honestly have seen such an improvement in terms of my fatigue levels. So then it got me thinking, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis almost 6 years ago, and I was never told to be on the lookout for vitamin D deficiencies, and I was never tested, like my vitamin D levels were never tested. And so of course, I did research and I was on and looking at different articles and stuff, and I realized that individuals that have autoimmune illnesses typically can run into vitamin D deficiencies because we are often prescribed oral steroids. And oral steroids aren't just the only factor, but also, of course, if you're newly diagnosed with autoimmune illness and your pain levels are out of control and it's hard for you to get out and do outdoor activities or just everyday activities, like especially for me, since I ran track, I was always in the sun. So once I finally was stopping with track and I was no longer in the sun, then of course I wasn't getting the sun exposure that everyone needs on a day-to-day basis. So just piggybacking on the sun exposure idea, I've noticed personally that my fatigue levels are increased during the winter time. And of course, that is the time that the sun isn't out as much and I'm inside way more than I normally would be during the summer because it's super cold and my RA always flares up when it's really cold. So I think it's really important. I know that fatigue is not, everyone's baseline is not the same. I understand that, and I know that someone's fatigue may just be heightened and they may not have a vitamin D deficiency, but it all just depends. But basically I'm just sharing this because I want everyone to know that there are things that you can look for, and I didn't know that I could ask my rheumatologist to do a blood test and test my vitamin D, and I feel like many people do not know that either. So I honestly just want to tell everyone that vitamin D can be negatively affected simply because of the oral steroids, which I know that I take prednisone. I took it more often than I do now, but I would take it when I was experiencing a flare, and oftentimes that's what a lot of people are on, a low dose of prednisone for their whole life or for extended periods of time. And so that can really affect your vitamin D levels. And of course, if you feel like you're not getting out as often, you're not in the sun, you're not physically active, or just doing everyday outdoor activities, then I would definitely speak to your doctor and check your vitamin D levels, of course, and then hopefully he or she is able to add you on a supplemental pill. So I do hope that everyone just finds some type of relief with fatigue, because I know it is such a difficult thing to deal with. And if y'all have any more questions or I don't care what type of question it could be. It could be about fatigue or it could be about a completely different topic. Then as always, y'all can email me at rawarriorrandi@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm rawarriorrandi, rawarrior_Randy. So you can follow me or DM me. I'm always open to talk and follow new people, and I just love having community of people that just understand what you're going through. So as always, I do hope that y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Goodbye.